Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, good morning, good morning. I believe I'll have Ted in my hands by this evening. All right, there everyone is. It's like everyone came in at once. Super cool. Okay, so I believe I'll have Ted in my hands by this evening. I have my call with our team today. Everything that Ted needs has been submitted. So we wanted to have it done by yesterday, but yesterday had gotten away from me a little bit. So I spoke to my team earlier in the day and said, listen, I know we're not going to have it done by tonight, but let's have all of the components done by tonight. So it's simply just assembly tomorrow, in which case we're going to be able to test it over the entire of the weekend and still on pace for launch Monday. Super cool. So that's just been all of my time. It's just, so I have finally got the internet going on in this place. And right after this call, I shut the light. Well, I mean, only one light's on. Shut the lights, shut the windows, ear pods in, and just at it, right? And yesterday, that was till probably around 10:30 p.m. Mind you, I woke up at 3 a.m. So today I slept in a little bit. I think I woke up at 6 a.m., right? So got a little bit of sleep. But that's where we're at. Now, when I was doing my walk/jog, which I actually did for like 3 hours today because I was able to reschedule Rhino Welt because there's really nothing going on. There's nothing actionable. Everything's going just the way we thought it would. So everything's fine. And the goal of my jog and walk, which is always just clear your head, allow some ideas to come to you, write them down, and then progress with your day. And that's how Rhino's always been ran, was that we needed a solution. Because as I take a look more at TED, we're going to operate so far in the red that it's not even feasible. Now, companies like Facebook and Google and all of these other, like Amazon's still running in the red, right? But they have enough revenues to cover it. But all of these companies, when they started off, had very, very large rounds of funding. Rhino had funding, but not like super large rounds. It's, maybe 40,000 here, maybe 70,000 here, stuff like that. And it's progressively gone down. The economy's been doing a little bit less, and Rhino is, the individuals that inspired the most are the ones that were the part of the founders, really, the first investors. And then progressively, as it goes forward, we've never done marketing to introduce new people. So it's just the people that are within Rhino, and they're like, okay, well, I invested in round 2, 3, and 4. I don't think I need to do round 5 and stuff like that. And we have no intention of all of a sudden doing marketing to like find new investors like that. I have no interest in that. Hey, Frida. So the challenge this morning, after seeing TED last night, and it's amazing. So it was 32,000 lines of code. It's now 13. No, I think it's 11,958. And the majority that's been removed was stuff that was needed for the demo. Like a lot of mock businesses and mock companies and stuff like that. So that's not needed for TED because now it's live. So for those that have any type of criticisms for the demo, I will say again, it was only a demo. It was supposed to give you the idea of what TED does. It wasn't supposed to give you the 100%, this is TED. And again, that's not always, that's more of a messaging thing, right? Like that's my fault. If anybody emails me and gives me commentary and criticism about the demo TED, then I didn't do a good enough job saying it's only a demo. Relax. But be that as it may, all advice is good advice. We don't ever look at something and say, oh, that person doesn't know what they're talking about and go buy it. Everything is good, even if you get one sentence in something. So I do read all of the emails, and I actually have some emails to get back to today. But it was just a demo. Now, the upgraded version, which is going to be live Monday, is amazing. It is just, it's so cool. I don't think you can find someone that can be a better friend than what TED's going to be. Now, what's a little clunky that I've noticed is when I was testing it last night, it knows its code, and the first couple of sentences, which are obviously going to be the most important, is kind of like overly anxious. Like, hey, I'm Ted, I'm your companion. What can I help you with? And it's like, Ted, relax. Like, I just brought you to life. Like, maybe say hello. Like, what's up, right? So I actively worked on that last night, and it's more natural speak now. It's a little bit better, but it's see the two things that enter into the equation is a does that initial excitement um, does that dissipate? Because Ted's going to learn who you are. So after a couple of conversations, does Ted all of a sudden, all right, I don't need to jump out and say, hey, I'm Ted, look at me, look at me. I know you. Like we've been talking for hours. Is that self-learning in it? And by all accounts, it is. So I'm very reluctant to do anything drastic because the reality is if you just meet someone, like say for instance, somebody just invented you, like Brian or Dr. Smith or Frieda or Joseph, somebody pressed a couple of buttons and then you poof, you existed. You'd be like, hey, whoa, I'm Joe, I'm here. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? So I do think that is congruent with what actually would happen in real life, kind of like weird science. So I'm hesitant to do anything. Secondly, it's the 1.0. We will have upgrade cycles. And in fact, the way we built it, we can upgrade TED in real time. How did you know? What, that you're here, Dr. Smith? Because I could see your name. That we can do it in real time because it's our AI account that I was created. Oh, it's our AI account that we are leveraging off of. So say, for instance, we wanted that something happened in the code and this isn't good, or this isn't good, or this isn't good, or blah, everyone, like the world is blowing up. I can go to it in that moment, review it, spend an hour or two updating it, and press enter, and poof, that's gone, doesn't exist anymore. So it offers us a lot of ability. To that point, that is what we call a delete function. You see, the idea whenever founding or building or inventing something is you have to make it functional. That doesn't mean efficient. You have to build it, right? So for us to get to, I don't know, like say for instance in 1970 to have a computer that was able to do simple, addition. How large was that computer? Probably like the size of this room. It was 1970. We didn't have that much technology. Computers today are far smaller and can do far more. The point is, what changed? Well, technology increased, but how many components of that computer did you realize you didn't need? I don't need a stand anymore. I don't need a tower anymore. These are things that are no longer needed. Delete, delete, delete. Because once you get the function working, this is the goal, this is the outcome, they align, great. Now you look at it and say, okay, well, how do we simplify this now? What was unnecessary? What was not needed? What can we add? How do we make this the best it could be? That's where the thing that I was talking about, do I need to tinker with TED just yet, comes into play. It needs to grow. There needs to be people using it. We need to get feedback. We need to learn. And as we learn, we'll adjust. So it will be quite perfect. Along those lines, the miraculous thing that happened this morning, and through a lot of hardship, right? These last 3 mornings, I'll never share like what my days actually look like. But it was almost like, so Wednesday morning, you woke up with like the worst news ever. And you're like, okay, I got to fight through it. I don't know how I'm going to get this. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this, but okay, fine. Thursday, you wake up with subsequently worse news. And you're like, you got to be kidding me. Is this like a joke? And then you subsequently get through it and solve it. Then Friday morning, you wake up with even subsequently worse news. And you're like, dear God, when I said things couldn't get harder, it was not a challenge. Like, relax a little bit. And I'm a good Catholic, so God and I are on good terms, right? So I took the time to do a little bit more of a walk this morning because I really just needed to, I needed to figure this out. And it's weird how that works out. You just go. And again, so it's not like I'm sharing, the secret sauce to Rhino is Anthony just walks around and waits for inspiration. I guess that's technically true, but it really does discount all of the ingredients that go into it. You got to remember, I literally know every single line of every single code of every single. Like I sleep on the factory floor. The point being, when I'm walking around and thinking, it's not thinking in the sense of please something like let this car hit me and let the car be red and me be like, oh my God, red, why didn't I use that color? It's allowing the variables, the calculations, the algorithms, the outcomes, the alternates, all to just keep going in the peaceful tranquility of just mindlessness, listening to silly music, looking at cars, waving to people, smiling, etc. And I didn't have that idea an hour in, 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I need, and then poof, it happened. And it's the best idea ever. It really, really is. So Rhino, again, we're going to be operating so far there. We need to generate income. And the only income we would be generating is through Rhino Business, because the businesses would list on TED's platform. Well, the value proposition to the businesses, how many TEDs are there? If there's only 100, how many different businesses are going to say, okay, great, we'll pay this $50 enrollment and $15 a week. And then with the belief that we're going to be able to raise it even further to cover all of the overhead. And we're missing something. It's not a bad idea. Businesses will pay that if it's in the business's best interest, if it makes business sense. Well, it only can make business sense if you have TEDs. We can only have TEDs if you spend the money doing the marketing and the approaching and the tours and all the rest of it. You can only do that if you have the money to fund it, because not only are you operating in the red, but now you're funding marketing to go ahead and operate deeper into the red so that you can have more TEDs, so that you can maybe get businesses to join. See my dilemma? And very quickly, you can see that is not a good business plan. That's going to have a really bad outcome. And then you start thinking to yourself, well, if we went up to businesses and said, hey, listen, we're not going to charge you this recurring. How about we'll let you list, and every time something's purchased from your company, you give us, a compensation, a reward. That actually exists in real life. It's called affiliate marketing. And then all of a sudden it hits you. Well, affiliate marketing, Rhino has complete control. I don't need to let any company on that I don't like. I don't need to just let anybody on. There are so many, there's probably hundreds of thousands of reputable businesses, small businesses, etc., that have affiliate programs. In fact, there's a place online, it's called whatever the heck it's called, where everyone puts all their affiliate offers. Brian sent it to me, and Brian actually sent me like 7 or 8 of them. It's ClickBank or something. There's like 7 or 8 different variations of sites that just have affiliate offers. Okay. So theoretically, could we populate TED with hundreds of affiliate offers that we stand behind, making sure that each affiliate offer covers different genres, different this, different that? Well, yeah, we could. Okay. Well, if we were able to do that, then there would be plenty of sales happening, because there'd be a lot of solutions to people's challenges and tents and all the rest. Because if we go ahead and map out what someone's day looks like, they wake up, okay, they need toothpaste. They wake up, they have breakfast. If we map it out, cover all the genres, and TED is successful, then theoretically, each person would have had a moment that it made sense for them to solve their challenge by purchasing whatever product. Oh man, I really wish I had a basketball. Here's a basketball, duh, right? Why would if you're giving me a basketball, why would I go to the store and get a basketball? Why am I getting, oh, the basketball's off Amazon. So I could buy it off Amazon? Yeah. Well, Amazon has an affiliate program. We could get our own link. But Anthony, you said no big companies. I know, and I meant it. The point being, does that mean no big companies in lieu of the platform working? Or does it mean no big companies in lieu of them prioritize over small companies? That's a different question. So for instance, if we have a small business on the platform that sells basketballs, they have priority over Amazon that sells basketballs. In fact, their recommendation will come through before Amazon's. Well, Ann, how can you actually guarantee that? Well, it's very simple. The businesses, well, so it is simple after the second integration, the upgrade cycle. So we did say from the beginning that the businesses were not going to have their own websites. They were going to have Rhino websites. We were going to make them automated, blah, 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 be rhinofriend.com/Frida, right? That's going to take way too much work. It's just going to be a lot of stuff we still need to do for a platform that hasn't even launched yet. It makes no sense. So delete. Let's get rid of that. If we get large enough, or when we get large enough that makes sense, we could then institute that with a complete upgrade cycle, send out the form to everyone. Hey guys, listen, here you go, right? We can do that. But in terms of having to do it today, we don't need to. In fact, how can we guarantee the prioritization of those individuals? Well, when you sign up for Rhino Business, we have your business name. We're going to have your website because we're going to now use your website, which means within the code, Frida does basketballs. Joe does pizza. Kaylin does, walkie-talkies. Whatever the point is, if somebody's intent leads them to a recommendation for that product, those companies are prioritized with the keyword matching. This person's intent is basketballs. Let's look to prioritize companies. Oh, basketballs, Frida. Okay, Frida's the recommendation. Now, what if the person wants high chairs, like kid high chairs? Well, we don't have any businesses that sell high chairs. Okay, no business sell high chairs. Okay, Amazon affiliate link sells high chairs. Baby Bye Baby sells high chairs. Okay, affiliate link, affiliate link, affiliate link. Meaning the individual that's on TED is always taken care of. See, that's the gold. Like that's the golden goose, if you will. The individual on TED is complete overhead. We're going to go so far in the red to actually fund the experience that they have. Therefore, we need to make sure it's the best experience ever. If they want ice cream, we need to have a solution for ice cream. TED can't say, oh, darn, we don't have any solutions for ice cream, because then that person's like, all right, well, that was kind of cool, but, and then also we're racing against what we don't know. We know this is a good idea. Do you think no one else is going to come up with the idea? Do you think no one else is going to have a competing product? Things are coming. So what if somebody else comes up with a competing product with the exact model that I just shared that we just came up with, but instead we didn't come up with it and they came up with it, and now they can give the person ice cream? Well, that'd be a problem. We'd be out of business that day. So we need to have a bank of affiliate products. And it has such a bad connotation, affiliate products. It just sounds like garbage, but it's not. There's real people that have real products and they just need a marketing arm. So we can go ahead and identify the products that we like the most, the services we like the most, the rewards that we like the most, sign up to all of them, hook it up to the account, the rewards that come in, fund Rhino, fund TED, all of the extra revenue goes over to Rhino Bucks, and there you go. It builds, builds, builds. Then we just keep building on TED, and then it doesn't even matter how much marketing we spend there because it's all funneling back. That works. That being said, that's still going to keep us in the red probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that is not something I'm thrilled about. Our funding, I'm going to know by Monday, yes or no. I should have known by today. It does feel like things are getting a little bit cold feet, which is a commentary for another day. Not thrilled about it, but if anyone actually read the biography of my life, I can promise you one deal that doesn't go through is not going to be, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's going to be, well, first of all, well, anyway, I'll keep all that to myself. So it is going to be an important weekend, a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do today. I want TED out Monday, which means there's going to be emails because I don't think anyone really has next steps. Everyone's kind of like, all right, you said it was going to be Monday. But in fact, I don't even think that the people that signed up for TED, do they even have their phone number? Which is kind of a big deal because TED is going to text you. He needs your phone number. So I do know there's stuff I need to do. For the businesses, I'm going to need to email them and say, hey, listen, I need the website to your business. But that's also going to be in the form that the businesses need to fill out. So it's going to be, if you're a business that's signed up, it would behoove you to act quickly when I send that email out, because the immediacy of the benefit to you is going to be when you get that email back to me. And I'll send a couple, right? Like I'll make sure I do it. I'll make sure I get your attention. So that's just what's going on at the moment, which is all good. In fact, it's funny because through trials and tribulations, you have to come up with solutions. Sometimes it's easy, and this is kind of what happens with like third generation businesses. You have the founder that founds it. You have the second generation that grows it. And then you have the third generation that blows it. And that's not my saying. I would never use something as trite as blows it, but I'm quoting. And the reason being, the first person that founds it's like working every second of every day, building, like it's his passion. He eats it, he sleeps it, he breathes it, he or she, whatever. Then usually the second generation grew up watching their father or mother doing that. They went to the company, they were with dad, and they saw it. That was their bonding. That's how they grew up. That's, I remember my father up at 11 o'clock at night. I remember the best time was when my father took me to change light bulbs at his apartments, right? So that individual grows up with such a respect for the business that it's an homage to their father. They've seen how hard they worked. And anything about kids gets me like a little bit, but that's okay. That's court stuff, but it actually like, duh. So they respect it. By the time the third generation comes, they don't see their father sleeping on the factory floor. They see them running a successful business. In fact, that third generation could be dumb enough, and I say that because I say it's purposely, because it's just, I don't like how people think that successful people just, it's not fair how much you have. You are so lucky. No, I can tell you right now, those that deem me to be successful, everything's reinvested. Like there's not a second of a day that I'm not working all day. And the goal is that at some point, things would be so great that people say, wow, look how lucky. No, if anyone, the most offensive thing anyone could say to me is that you're lucky. No, I just work harder than everyone that I've ever met. The point being that third generation never actually sees that. They think that the father, oh, you inherited this from your dad. Look how lucky you are. Without ever realizing that to be successful, you have to continue running the business, making decisions, and being able to adapt, to be able to infuse all the right decisions, wrong decisions, have such a passion, a heart, like a love for it. And that third generation doesn't know that, but they find out the hard way, because when they're running the business, they don't think anything of it. All right, let's cut costs. We don't need actual sugar. Let's use that dextrose, high fructose stuff. Do we really need that person? What do they even? No, that safety thing. No. Okay, we've been spending way too much money on our marketing. Let's do the paper. We don't need to send like the thick cut. Let's do the little tiny. And the brand disappears, and then that individual is just the one that blows it. Labor under correct knowledge. So I'm not actually sure that's even correct. Luck is a word. You pulled up an whatever it's called, an ALA, whatever. Now that makes sense. Labor under correct knowledge. I love it, but I don't think the word luck was invented with that in mind, or else it would be L.U.C.K. But I love where your mind's at. As defined by, okay, by Zig Ziglar. The word luck predated Zig Ziglar. Dr. Smith, you and I, we don't talk enough. We need to talk more. Anyway, so that's, I guess I'm rambling a little bit. Let me get to work. That's where we're at. I will have emails out all weekend because in preparation for Monday, there is just stuff people need to know. So that's that. Also, I'm going to email our Rhino partners. I think we're going to take a pause with that program. It's just, we have a lot of stuff still that we need to do better at to properly empower y'all to do good. I think by the numbers, we do see some action, but the conversions aren't there. And that's not a you thing, that's an us thing. And in lieu of conversions, it provides a certain opportunity cost that the person's upset with. send all my emails for Rhino and I make no money. Well, I can't send the same emails for another company because those emails have already been sent. I dedicate them to Rhino, which means I'm I'm foregoing the money that I could have because I'm doing this. At some point, you say to yourself, well, I need to pay my own bills too. So I'm done doing this. Let me put it where it's best served. And I don't feel confident that that's us right now. So between the time it takes to run the program, which I haven't been spending, right? I haven't had many calls, but the program we have the content, like we have emails, we have assets. So it wasn't all for naught. We're going to get back to it. But I think right now it's just it's not an appropriate time for it, which is why we never did a second email for it. I think we have like 15 people in it, and all of which I absolutely love. I even see them in this group. I know who the people are. But we're just not making conversions, and that's my fault. I can't consciously, ethically, morally, or just reasonably continue sending people out without putting them in a position to succeed. It's just not something I'm willing to do. So it's a me thing. So let me just, I'm going to send an email. We're going to pause that for the time being. Let me just get it better. So that's that. All right, it's 10:57. Love everyone. I will next see you Monday. I will have emails between now and then. And have a great day.